I would rate the customer service at Fairway on Floor in Des Moines, Iowa, a zero because of the way that they treat their elderly customers. I would rate them a zero for the way that they treated me the day that that happened. I would rate the company a zero for the way that the corporate office responded, and I would rate their company a zero on the way that their insurance adjuster called and talked to me. I would rate their company a zero for the multiple times that I've been treated with so much disrespect at this store. And I would rate their company a zero for the time that their employees thought it was funny to cuss at me because I did not know how to operate the self-serve checkout aisle. November 11th, I had slipped and fell in Fareway on Floor in Des Moines. I had walked in through the entrance, crossed in front of the ATM, in front of the exit doors where the self-checkout aisle was, trying to make my way to the batteries. And as soon as I got off the carpet and onto the linoleum part of the store, there was a puddle of water there. I didn't see it. As soon as my foot hit it, I slipped and I fell and I hit the ground so hard I busted my head and my whole body just crashed to the ground. And I'd hurt myself so bad, it took me about 5 minutes to get up off the floor. I had reached my hand out because there were 6 employees standing right in front of me, and not a single one of them ran to my aid, asked me if I needed help. They all rolled their eyes at me and acted like I was the problem, falling in their store and blocking the exit so their customers could leave. And as soon as I made my way to get up off the floor, I had looked at all of them and kind of disgusted. None of them would help a 50-year-old man up off the floor that just slipped and fell right in front of them. I mean, they saw my head bounce off that floor, and nobody did anything to help me. Nobody reached out. Nobody asked me if I was okay, if I needed help, did I need an ambulance. They just, like I said, rolled their eyes at me as if I was the problem because I had slipped and fell in their store and I was blocking the exit door for their customers to leave. And I went to talk to their manager, and he was an 18-year-old kid, and he just looked at me and asked me what I wanted him to do about it. So I had to limp my way all the way home, and I get home and I waited for days for somebody from the store to reach out to ask how I was, ask me if I was okay. Nobody ever called. And then I get a call from an insurance adjuster, and he gets on the phone and tells me I'm the one that's at fault for slipping and falling in their store. I should have known better because it was raining all day. I said, that doesn't make any sense. You had two sliding exit doors in front of where I had stepped onto the floor. So however the rain made its way 8 feet through two doors into the store, how does that make it my fault? And not only that, but I never called an insurance company. I didn't file a report. I just talked to the manager. And then so after that, I called corporate and told them I would like for somebody to please call me. Something has to be done about this. Your employees were wrong for not coming to the aid of an older man that had slipped and fell in their store, and they saw me my head bounce off the ground. I mean, they saw how hard I hit the ground. And I told them, I said, instead of anybody offering to help me, they rolled their eyes at me like I couldn't get up off the ground fast enough so their customers could leave the store. And this has happened before. I had an incident at the same Fairway where I didn't know how to work the self-checkout counter, and one of their workers came up to me, and I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss or not, but looked at me and said, what's your effing problem? If you don't know how to effing work a self-checkout, then maybe you should go to customer service. So I reported that to the manager. And when the manager called me, he said, well, I can talk to her, but I don't know what you want me to do about it. This is the kind of treatment I've received at this Fairway for the past 2 years. They have a bunch of 18-year-old kids there. even younger kids there that have no idea how to treat the elderly community. And it's disgusting the way that I was treated. And I can't believe the humiliation I suffered that day when I needed human compassion. Like I said, it was a day that my son just got killed in a car accident on his way to work. And like I said, when I went there, I was going there to buy food, trying to make the day a little bit better. My life was already crashing around me with the loss of my son. I did not need that to happen to me. And for them to treat me like that, hitting my head that hard on the ground and my body at being 50 and already having multiple surgeries. And when you're 50, you don't bounce back the way you used to. I'm having constant headaches. My body is killing me. I can't get comfortable. I went to the doctors and he told me just try your best. And I'm trying my best, but my best isn't working. What's frustrating is the fact that nobody from corporate or that store reached out to me to ask me if I was okay or to discipline their workers for being that close to a 50-year-old man that just fell and they watched me bounce my head off the ground and not even offer to come over to ask if I was okay, ask if I needed help up, if I needed an ambulance, to just roll their eyes at me and treat me like I was a bother for slipping and falling in their store and blocking the exit for their customers to get out. That's frustrating. And what else is frustrating is for their insurance adjuster to call me and tell me there was a carpet there, there were signs there. You should have been more careful. There was no carpets there. There was no slippery when wet signs were there. There was nothing there. And I told him, you obviously didn't look at the videotape. And from what I'm gathering, the insurance adjuster just got their information from talking to the employees, the same employees that stood there and watched this happen and failed to offer any aid to a customer that just slipped and fell and horrendously bounced their head off the floor. That's what's frustrating, is they are not accepting responsibility for what happened. I didn't call a lawyer. I didn't call their insurance company. They called me. And then for the insurance adjuster himself to harass me on the phone and then tell me that I'm negligent because there was a carpet and there was a sign in which there was none. And when I asked the insurance adjuster, did you even look at the videotape? His statement was, no, I spoke to the employees. They were all there. And I'm like, exactly. They were 6 feet from me when this happened, and not one offered any aid. When I reached my hand out for help up off the ground, none of them came to me. They just looked at me and rolled their eyes. That's what's frustrating. They didn't call and offer me any kind of compensation or settlement or anything to say, hey, we saw the videotape. We saw what our employees did. We're reprimanding the employees. And we'd like to make your get better because we know that you lost your son. And that you didn't need to hurt yourself in this store. We should have kept the water mopped up. And no, we didn't. Take ownership of what really happened. And to take the word of their employees that were negligent in treating their customer that way and not doing anything about it is frustrating, because this is the problem with these grocery stores nowadays, or any store. They're in such a hurry to make money that customers come second, profit comes first. And as soon as they know they're wrong, they hop on the phone, not me, they hop on the phone to their insurance adjuster, run their mouth as much as they can to try to cover their butts. And it's like, if you would look at the videotape and see how horrendous this slip and fall was, it wasn't just a oopsie, I bumped my butt. I busted my head and my body off the ground. I fell that hard. But no, they ain't even going off the videotape. They're going off of what their employees said. That's what's frustrating. The manager was too young to even understand how to handle it, so all he could say was, "I don't know what you want me to do about it." My advice to the Fairway Corporation would be compassion training. Training for all the youngins you've got working at your company that have no clue on how to treat the elderly community. My advice is compassion, compassion, compassion. Customer service over corporate money. That is my advice. Quit treating your customers like they're walking dollar bills and like they're numbers. You should treat your customers with the name. We have names. We are people. We go through traumatic things in life. We go through happy things in life. Our life is such a colorful palette of who we are, and to treat us like we don't matter or our lives don't matter when we hurt ourselves in your store, and and don't ever accuse a customer that hurt themselves in your store of being at fault for not being careful enough to not hurt themselves. Accidents happen. But when you treat a customer when they have an accident in your store like, oops, we better cover this up right now, like we're the Roswell incident, that's when you have a problem. Your customer service reps should always treat their customers with the utmost respect and integrity. That is what you should be trained from the beginning to do. That's how you improve a store. You give what you get. Treat people with love and compassion nowadays. Sorry. Treat them with love and compassion. People have things that happen to them that all they need is a smiling face that day. Like that day I slipped and fell. My son died horribly in a car accident on his way to work. I was already having a bad day. When I slipped and fell and reached my hand out and nobody offered me any aid, offered me a hand up, a hug, an apology, you don't do that. Teach your staff compassion. Teach your young workers the value of compassion. We all get old. We all have accidents. We all hurt ourselves. It's what somebody does in that moment that could change somebody's life forever, or their thought of the human race forever. First of all, I want an apology. I want an apology from the corporation. I want an apology from all the workers that were standing not even 6 feet from me the day that that happened. And I want compensated. I don't want their insurance adjuster calling me, telling me it was my fault and making claims that were baseless because there's no way he could have looked and watched that videotape and said what he said. He said there was a carpet down. He said there was a sign down in front of that exit door inside the store, and there was not. I want compensation for my pain and suffering, and I want apologies for the humiliation that I had to endure at the hands of their employees. I want an apology from the corporate office for not calling me. You guys, excuse not you, but Fairway Corporation has a commercial. We put customers first. We're a family-oriented store. Our customers are our business. They are our everything. I mean, their commercials are all over TV about how compassionate of a store they are. It's a lie. I want them to own up for what they did. I want them all to sit down and watch that videotape I want the employees held accountable for not offering any aid to a customer that just slipped and fell and busted their head off the ground inside their store. That's what I want. I don't want to have to go to the news, but I'm about to because this has got to stop. I don't want to get a lawyer. I want them to handle it before I have to go to the news and before I get a lawyer. That's what I want.